Hello, I'm Bo, and welcome back to Bo's Books. Today I have book mail that I am really excited about. I have been hanging on to these packages so that I can do the unveiling on camera. So I'm really excited to finally open these. I've been hanging on to some of these for like a week or two. Some of them I actually do know what they are. Two of these packages are actually a complete surprise to me, and I don't know what's inside them. So without further ado, I am going to show you what I got. This first one, I am almost positive I know what this is. Revenge by Yoko Ogawa. She is a Japanese writer, so this is a translated work. I was really excited to get this cover specifically because I loved the strawberry. So this is a horror novel. It's going to be the Q3 book for In the Void book club, which is that online horror book club that I have been mentioning in my previous videos. I believe this is a series of horror short stories, and it's actually pretty short. It looks like the entire thing is only 162 pages. It should be a pretty quick read, which I'm excited about because I have been struggling to get through longer books right now. So I'm excited to maybe pick up something a little bit shorter, a little bit easier to get through. That's if I actually pick it up this month. But maybe the length and the fact that it's for the book club will motivate me to actually pick this up right away and not hang on to it forever and let it just sit and collect dust on my shelf like I usually do with books that I buy new. And I'm pretty sure I ordered this one from abebooks.com. It looks really good to me. There's nothing wrong with it. I like a worn book. I don't need all my books to be brand new. I kind of like that they've been loved a little bit. It's people always look for flop. Kind of floppy, I guess. Next up, I have two packages that look very similar. One of them, I know exactly what it is, and the other one is a surprise because I won my very first giveaway on Bookstagram. Rose Devours Books had a giveaway celebrating her 4 years on Bookstagram, and I won. I was super shocked because I enter a lot of giveaways and I never win them, so yay, I finally won one, and she was very quick on delivering. The prize was something off of my wish list. She kindly asked me if I had a preference of which book, and I asked her to surprise me. So I actually don't know which book off of my wish list she chose, so I'm excited to open it. So let's see what these ones are. Okay, this is the one that I already knew what I was getting, because this is the one I actually ordered myself. I was hoping that this one would be the one unveiled first, so the next one could be a total surprise and I could know that it's coming. Okay, I'll just start off by saying that this was a 5-star read for me, and I just didn't expect it to be. So I read The Har by David Sodergren at the end of last year, around Christmas time, actually. So I'm a big horror fan when it comes to movies, and I love movies like Terrifier, where you're just getting like gore on the screen, and it's crazy kills and so much blood and special effects and everything, and it's like awesome, right? Okay, so I didn't know that books could have that same feeling to them. I had no idea what extreme horror was. I didn't know what splatterpunk was. I didn't know that books could just go there in horror, right? So this was my first introduction to gore in a novel. So when I read some of the scenes in this book, I was shocked. I was like clutching my pearls because I just didn't know a novel could give you that same effect that like a gory movie could give you. Okay, so like this is a very short book. It's only about 209 pages. I read it on my tablet, so I read it on Kindle Unlimited. I was just not expecting it to be as impactful as it was. I was thinking, oh, short horror book, like it's gonna be just like a popcorn read, whatever, right? This book had so much in it. Like there was First of all, I love that the protagonist of this book is an 84-year-old woman. Like that already, I was like, this is iconic. I'm obsessed. Let me read more. So, the whole thing about this is there are developers who come into, I believe it's a Scottish fishing village, and they start trying to take over the people's land that live there, and they want to just demolish everything and turn it into a golf course. Okay, so though that's your antagonist, right? And already I was like, I hate these people. As the story progresses, it gets really weird. This amorphous sea creature, I guess, washes up on the shore and she finds it, and then it starts communicating with her. And I don't want to like spoil anything, but there is such a heartwarming and even romantic quality to this book where you are gonna get blood and kills and gore and weird and what the fuck did I just read, but also wow, that was so beautiful. Am I crying? Like, there is so much to this book packed in these little 200 pages. And I just want to read this again because it was a story that has stuck with me since I've read it. So David Sodergren is definitely somebody who I want to read more from. Immediately I wanted to just like read everything he's written, but of course I haven't picked up anything else yet because I've been so busy just reading everything else. I loved his writing. I loved this story. I thought it was so unique, so disturbing, so weird, so beautiful. I also read that he based the FMC off of his grandmother, which I thought was actually really sweet. So yeah, this is a good one. There were moments where I was like, I want to put this down and never pick it up again because I was so angry at the villains in the story, and it just like I had like visceral reactions where I was like, I cannot read anymore tonight, like I need to sleep because this is too much. And then I would pick it up and I was like, no, but I need to find out what's gonna happen because I need that closure. I need to know what's gonna go on. Like I need some retribution. In such a short amount of time gave me so many different emotions, and I will never stop recommending this book. I really didn't find it like scary or too extreme, but I mean there was definitely some gore. I mean my tolerance for gore and everything is pretty high, so I mean I wasn't too taken aback by anything I read in this, but I mean at first it did make me like, oh my god, did they just say that? I didn't know you could say things like that in a novel. That's why I want to explore more extreme horror and splatterpunk and like crazier subgenres of horror, because I was like, yeah, let's go there, let's get weird, you know? So highly, highly, highly recommend The Horror by David Sodergren. And I just had to have it on my shelf. Like I had to. It's been 6-7 months since I read it, and I was like, you know what? Let's fill my shelf with my 5-star reads. I feel like if I'm reading a book and it's 5 stars, like I'm gonna have to buy it and put it on my shelf as a trophy. These are the books that I want people to ask me about because these are my favorite books. I want to be able to recommend these ones because they are the best books that I've ever read. These are the ones that I want to talk about. So as my reading journey progresses, I'm going to try to turn my bookshelf into basically a trophy case of all the books that I love. So we'll see how that goes as we continue down this journey. That brings us to this mystery package, where this is going to be the one from Rose Devours Books. I'm going to link her bookstagram down below, so go ahead and check her out. Awesome horror bookstagram, where she makes really cool horror edits of the books that she reads, and it's just really cool. Check her out. But she was very sweet to deliver me a book off my wish list, and let's see what it is. I'm gonna say right off the bat, I love the way the book feels. I'm gonna take a guess. I didn't cheat and I didn't peek and I didn't see what was like missing on the wish list, so I actually have like no clue, but just based off of Rose, I want to guess that she picked The Exorcist House by Nick Roberts. Let me see if I'm right, but I feel like that's the one she would pick for me. Okay, I had 2 books on my wish list that I was really hoping that she would pick, and this was one of them. So I'm so excited that she picked this. This book is called This Thing Between Us. a novel by Gus Moreno. So first of all, this is a BIPOC author, which I'm super excited about. I feel like what I've heard about this one is it really delves into grief in a very strange way, and that was enough for me. I heard grief and I was like, yeah, I need to read this, because I lost my dad last August, so it's been less than a year, and I've been heavily dealing with grief. So I've been really wanting to pick up books that deal with grief and talk about grief because I need more of that catharsis, even if it's in weird ways or like in strange ways. I just want to hear about people dealing with their grief because that's what I'm trying to work on, is like healing. And I guess I'll take a second to say, if you don't know me, my dad used to call me Bo. So Bo is not my real name, but my dad used to call me Bo, and he was the only one that ever called me Bo. And now that he's passed, I was really, really heartbroken that I would never hear that again, or nobody would ever call me that again. So really, my whole book persona is in a way dedicated to him. It's a way for me to always remember him, because now every time that somebody calls me Bo, I can't help but think of him. Yeah, that's another little snippet about me, but I'm really, really, really excited to read this. I want to read the synopsis in the back, but then I also don't. I know a little bit. I think it's about a man whose wife dies suddenly and he's dealing with that grief. So I don't know. I don't want to go more into it. I'm excited to read it. So hopefully I'll get to this one soon. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this a weird one? Because I'm kind of hoping it is. Okay, the next one I'm gonna open is this cute pink package, and if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, but it says Books with Desh. I follow Books with Desh on Bookstagram. She started selling blind dates with a book on her Etsy page, and I knew that I had to get one just because I love her Bookstagram. I don't think we read super similar books. She reads a lot of romance, but I just love looking at her Bookstagram and watching her do her annotations in books. She has the best annotations and I love them. She also sells annotated books on her Etsy, which is really cool. I think it's really fun to see how other people annotate their books. I love it. I'm just like, what are you highlighting? What are you underlining? What are you doodling in your books? I've always wanted to do that thing where you annotate a book, you pass it along to a friend, they annotate the book, and then you pass it back to each other. And so you like read the book with each other's annotations and annotate on top of them. It looks really, really cool. If you haven't seen that before, like look it up, where you like, it's like an annotation pass along or whatever, but between like a group of people, and you can do it like 2, 3, 4 people, whatever. The more the merrier, I guess, unless you have too many underlines in the book. I'd probably do it with like 2 or 3 people ideally, but I still want to do that very much because I think that is so fun, and I would love to see the kind of things that resonate with other people. Like, what are you highlighting? I want to see what stands out for you. So anyways, that's why I love watching her videos about how she annotates and all her tabs and colors, and she does it really, really cute. So anyway, so one of the things that I wanted to do for this year, I have like a 25 and 25 challenge for myself of books that I want to read this year before the year is out. One of the prompts that I put on my 25 and 25 is to read a blind date with a book. I've been waiting to decide where I was going to get my blind date with a book from, but when I saw that Books with Desh had started selling them on her Etsy page, I decided, yeah, now's the time. This is it. I want to support her. So she had the option between, okay, I'm going to use my scissors for this one because the adhesive on here is pretty good. So she had the option of the pink one or the black one, essentially. So do you want, basically it was like a light romance or a dark romance, and of course I picked dark romance. Like I was like, let me pick the black one, duh. So because I'm not big on like the cheesy rom-coms, right? So I went for the darker one. So she's included a handwritten thank you note, which says, "Thank you for supporting my small business." And she wrote on the back as well, "Thank you so much for being my first blind date with," oh, my gosh. First? I was her first blind date with a book order? No way! Thank you so much for being my first blind date with a book order. I hope you love the book. It's one that got me into dark romance. Let me know what you think. Love, Dash. That is so special. I am so happy that I ordered from her and supported her. I can't wait to tag her in this video, and I hope she looks at it and knows that I'm so happy with it, even though I haven't even opened it yet. I just know I'm gonna love it just because of all the like effort she put into it, all the love. She included so many cute little things. I had to get it. This is so cute the way she packaged everything. I love it. So I am super, super excited to open it, and I love everything that she's already included that I can see. Okay, so we have a highlighter. Okay, and I already know her from her videos. She probably matched everything to the book, I'm gonna assume. So I'm trying to think of like what dark romance has like these colors on the cover. Let's see if it actually does match it, because I wouldn't put it past her to try to match the cover of her book, because just based on her own the way that she likes to annotate and stuff. Okay, so then we have a magnetic bookmark. Coffee icy, book spicy. That's cute. I don't drink coffee, but I think that's really adorable. And then she has cute book stickers. Let me get them out. There's so many actually. She included all these cute stickers. I'm just gonna go through and show them to you. I'm a sucker for enemies to lovers. And there's so much more in here. She included so many things. I highly recommend getting a book from her because she's so generous with everything that she included. And this really cute bookmark that says, "He's the villain." I love that for me. Recommend. I like this bookmark. I don't even want to break the seal because it's so cool. Oh my god, I'm doing it. I'm just gonna rip it. I'm just gonna rip it, right? Like, I'm not gonna save the paper, right? I'm like that kid at Christmas where I'm like, save the wrapping, because it's so pretty. They're like, just rip it. Oh, there's more. Oh my gosh, look at. I thought I was done with like the goodies, but there's like a tea or something that I almost missed. So excited. I just want to know what it is. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I don't want to look. 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 I love surprises. I love surprises. Shut up. I keep finding like more hidden goodies. Like as I'm opening, I'm like more surprises keep popping out. Look at another sticker. Coffee and books. You're lying. I just found another sticker. This is like comedy at this point. And I'm obsessed with these. How freaking cute are these stickers? Ooh, I've never seen this book before. Desperate Measures by Katie Robert. I've actually never heard of this before, so I'm excited about it. A wicked villain's novel. I like this. Okay, I'm gonna take a guess just based on the cover and knowing nothing about it. Is this like an Aladdin retelling with Jafar and Jasmine? Kind of like Hooked, where it was like Hook and Wendy? That's just my guess, just based on the cover. I'm gonna take a second and read the back because I want to know the premise of this. I already really like the cover and I'm excited to read this, especially as she said this is the book that got her into dark romance, which is really exciting. So I don't usually like to read the synopsis because I want to be surprised, but I'm also really curious what the premise of this one is. Once upon a time, I was a sheltered princess. Now he owns me, body and soul. One night, and my entire life went up in flames, all because of him, Jafar. I guessed it. I guessed it just based on the cover. As my world burned around me, he offered me a choice: walk away with nothing but my freedom, or rise to his challenge and win my fortune back. I bargained. I lost. Now Jafar owns me, and even as my mind rails against him, my body loves the delicious punishments he deals out. It's almost enough to believe he cares. But a gilded cage is still a prison, and I'll do anything to obtain my freedom, even betray the man who captured my heart. Ooh! I'm actually excited about this. Sometimes I don't like to read the books that are too overhyped, you know, and I like to read the ones that I don't really know too much about. So because I haven't heard anything about this, I'm actually a lot more excited to formulate my own opinion without the influence of, you know, other people telling me if it's good or not. So let me see for myself if this is something that I like. Maybe this one's like a bedtime read. Ooh, there's like artwork in here that I had to skim over really quick. I didn't look at it, but it's in there. Like, I don't want to show you. Not this book having a whole kink questionnaire in the back. What? Well, that was exciting. I'm happy about my surprise books and I'm excited to read them both. Okay, I have two more boxes to open that look like this. One of them is a book. The other one is not a book, but I'm gonna show you anyway because there is a book that's part of it. You'll see. I wanted to pre-cut this and my husband was like, no, just edit it so it looks cute like when you're cutting it. Not cute. Not cute. Okay, this one is the book. Chain Gang All Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah, and I hope that I said his name right. Here's the author in the back. So I checked this book out from the library and started reading it. It is actually my current read, but I actually had to take a pause because this book is so good and so profound. And I knew this was going to be a 5-star read before I picked it up just based on the subject matter. But as I was reading it, I realized like this is going to be a book I need on my shelf. Like I was saying earlier about the heart, like I want to have books on my shelf that really showcase the books that I love to read so that when people look at my shelf, they can see where my taste lies. So this is something that I would be proud to showcase on my bookshelf. And I haven't even finished reading it because this is a book that I've decided I really want to annotate. I feel like I need to give it the attention it really deserves, and I want to actually go in and highlight and annotate and tab it and underline things and make notes. So I was talking to my husband about having a balance in my reading. I don't want to just read one genre or only books that make me feel good. I want to read books that also challenge my perspective, that also give me a lot of empathy for other people. I want to learn about other cultures. I want to learn about things that I don't know about. I want books that talk about social injustices and oppression and challenge the status quo and just really talk about more important issues and make me think about things. Even though a big part of why I read is to escape from my reality and all the ugly things that are going on in this world, I also feel that I need to balance it with facing some of those things and actually taking a view of what can I do to change that and educating myself and just finding ways to be active. I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to the news or politics, and I don't know what I can do to stand against all these things that are going on, especially in the USA right now with the current climate of our government, which I'm very much against. And so I feel like, you know, the only thing that I can do is maybe use my own platform to highlight some of the injustices that are going on in the United States. And so I plan to read more books that are more educational. You know, this book is a fictional dystopia or near future America. This is something that I feel could be happening today. What it touches on is the main characters of this story are Black Americans who are in the prison system. And this book sheds a light on how corrupt the prison system is. In the world of Chain Gang All Stars, what it is there's something called the CAPE program. And what that is a almost like a gladiator style, extremely popular televised program where the American people are watching prisoners fight to the death to earn their freedom. They have to essentially survive the CAPE program for 3 years to earn their freedom. And essentially nobody has ever gotten out of this program except for one person that in the book they talk about was like a plant, right? They kind of help this person get through it so that they would like give the illusion that, you know, you could actually earn your freedom. But nobody has actually gotten out of the program the real way that you're supposed to. So like I said, I'm only about 40% way through of this book, and I'm actually going to start it over from the beginning to really delve deeper into it. I love that the author includes footnotes of real facts of the American prison system or the justice system that you may or may not know, but he highlights those things to kind of like shed a light of, you know, this may be a work of fiction, but this is not far off from the realities of things that are going on today in our own backyard. And so this is such a powerful educational book, even though it is a fiction, and that's something that I want to incorporate more into my reading, is books like this. This is such a good one, and I haven't even finished reading it, but I'm really excited to see how it ends. Okay, the last thing I'm going to open is not a book in the regular sense. This makes me so happy because I used to have this when I was a teenager, and I had it for many, many years. And then, you know, throughout the years, you just, you know, get rid of things, or, you know, things get lost or whatever, or you move and then you lose stuff. This is the Fairies Oracle with art by Brian Fraud and text by Jessica Macbeth. Working with the fairies to find insight, wisdom, and joy. So these cards are so beautiful. I love Brian Fraud's work. As you may or may not already know about me, Labyrinth is my favorite movie of all time. I am obsessed. And Brian Fraud, him and his wife Wendy worked closely with Jim Henson to base a lot of the look of the world of Labyrinth and the goblins and everything off of his sketches and drawings and paintings. I believe Wendy helped with the puppets, and if you may or may not know, but their son Toby was actually the baby in Labyrinth, also named Toby in the movie. So their family was very closely associated with Labyrinth, and because I'm obsessed with Labyrinth, I fell in love with Brian Fraud and his art. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting Brian, Wendy, and Toby when I was a teenager. I went with my parents and we took a trip to Oregon, and I begged them to take a detour to the Fairy Worlds Festival so we could spend a day there, because I was like obsessed with fairies and the fact that the Fraud family was there. I was so excited, and I actually pretty sure I got pictures with them. This is one of my favorite books. This has all his art in it. Cool thing about this book is on this side it's good fairies, but if you flip it over, it's bad fairies. And so this book was like one of my favorite things in the whole world when I was younger, and I still to this day I'm obsessed with it and have it in a special place in a special cabinet where I keep a lot of my childhood favorite books. So I'm just gonna flip through a couple so you can see some of his art, and then I'll open the Fairy Oracle deck so you can see the correlation of his art on the cards. In the bad fairy section we have, you know, some of these guys. And what's cool about it is they give you like bits about each fairy so you can like learn about the different fairies and things, which is so fun, right? Isn't that really cool? It's like a what do you call, like a bestiary, something like that, right? Let's go to the good fairy side and see some of those. Let me see. Isn't this beautiful? I actually have fairies tattooed on my back to represent me and my mom, and the one of my mom is actually this picture because this looks just like my mom. My mom has big, curly, black hair, and this honestly looks just like her. Aren't these just the most beautiful things you've ever seen? I just love fairies. So if you like fairies, I highly recommend this book by Brian Fraud. But anyway, let me show you this oracle deck. I used to love this deck. Let me find a way to open it where I'm not just like destroying the whole thing. Okay, so it comes with a little guidebook. It feels weird to open it and hear like the crack of a brand new spine because mine was so used and loved, and this one's just brand new, and it feels so weird because I miss my old one. I'm wondering if I just have it in the garage somewhere and I can't find it, but honestly, like, I haven't seen it in years, so I'm happy to just buy another copy of it. It's a pretty long, like, there's so much about fairies in this book, and it goes into obviously every card in detail, and it gives you a little snippet of like the fairies and everything and what the card means and blah blah blah, but it's actually actually really well written. I highly recommend it, especially if you love fairies. Again, if you've seen Labyrinth and you love Labyrinth, the back of this deck looks like the goblins from the movie. Now you can see why I love his art and why I wanted to purchase this deck of cards again. I'm really excited to be in possession of these once again in my life. I was definitely inspired by the Tarot Readathon to get my favorite Oracle cards back. Well, thank you for sitting with me while I unwrap my gifts to myself. Felt like it was my birthday and I was unwrapping presents. This is the first time I've done like an unboxing or a book mail kind of thing. You're just gonna see me change and grow as this channel evolves and as I build my confidence and learn how to speak with more intention and be able to formulate sentences hopefully a lot faster and a lot better so that I can do less editing. We'll see how it goes. But thank you for watching. This was a lot of fun and I'll see you next time. Bye!